night I played at a place called Natura in Oviedo, UCF area. I was invited by a girl named Sammy Witness, who is a very talented solo female artist. And she invited me to come play it. So I was like, hey, why not? I'll go by there and play, and come back to the house and pack, and then go to bed. No big deal, right? So turned out to be a pretty big deal. So basically, this is a prime example of how I'm too nice for my own good sometimes. Perfect example of that. Okay, so this is how it goes. So I go to Natura, I play for an hour or so after Sammy plays. My friend Chris Irwin, he's a pretty regular open mic act who plays Daily Grind pretty often. So anyway, Chris bought a CD last night from me, but he rode with me over to the pizza place and left his CD in my car. And my other friend Chris Evans and a couple other friends were already in the Orlando area, and they met me at the same pizza place. And Sammy and Chris and Josh and other friends that I was initially with left to go to Sammy's house, and I stayed with Chris Evans and a couple other guys to just hanging out, and they went on to Sammy's house without me. What happened was Chris left his CD in my car, and it was already 1 a.m. at this point. Okay, so I should have just gone straight home and just gone to bed. I needed sleep because I had to get up at like 9 o'clock this morning for that. So I should have just gone, forget it. I will give him the CD when I get back home, when I get back to Orlando from break. But no, I'm too nice of a guy to do that. So I call him up, figure out how to get to Sammy's house, because I've never been there. Take him to CD. In the process of doing that, I ended up staying there for a couple hours, which was inevitable. Long story short, I leave at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I get back to my house to realize I left my cell phone at Sammy's house. At which point, I'm just like, forget it, I'll get it tomorrow sometime. I sent her a message on MySpace, let her know that I need to get it back before I leave to go to Virginia. So I only got about 4.5 hours of sleep last night. So I don't know if I'm gonna make it the whole way tonight or not. I might have to hit up a rest area. I'm just now getting through Jacksonville now. Okay, so on with the story. I know it's a long story, but bear with me. This is interesting, and I hope you're being entertained by this. But so I left the phone at Sammy's house, right? I'm thinking like, great, Mary's gonna call me sometime tomorrow, and Sammy's gonna pick up the phone, and some huge thing is gonna go down. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm like, whatever, so not whatever that I don't care, but whatever, because I didn't do anything. So I go to bed, I get my 4.5 hours sleep, I wake up, I dress up, and I get all looking fly for the presentation, and I sit in there for 7 hours. Meanwhile, all this time I've been borrowing group members' phones to call my phone to try and get a hold of Sammy, hoping that she would answer. She never does answer. The depressing thing is I realized how much of my life is dependent on having my phone by my side. I can remember when I was 13, every friend of mine, I knew their phone number right off the top of my head, and now that I have a cell phone, I can't remember hardly anybody's number. Just having a cell phone has made me dumber. It's probably a worldwide virus. So because of that, the only number that I could really remember to call was myself. So I tried that several times, never got an answer. So I just waited it out, and at one point during the presentation, I decided to jump onto MySpace and check my messages, and she had sent me a message back saying that she had given my phone to Nick, who works at Daily Grind, and that he had taken it back to the cafe and would leave it there for me. So I was like, great, that's awesome. I'll go home, pack up, and then just run by Daily Grind, pick up my phone, and be on my way. So I got everything packed up by 7. I was out the door, ran by there, and the girl that was there had no idea what I was talking about. I'm like, this is not happening to me. So I'm like, right then and there, I should have asked her, can you call Nick's cell phone and figure out what's going on, where my phone's at. At that point, I was thinking, okay, maybe she meant Natura since we played there last night. So I go up there, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. And then I leave there, and I go back to her apartment, and she's not there. And then I go back to Daily Grind and ask her to call Nick, who forgot to leave my phone at the store, and it was still in his car. So I waited there for him to get there before I could leave. All of this inconvenience just because I was too nice to keep a CD for a week until I got that to give it to him. I could have just called him and said, hey, I've got your CD. If you really want to listen to it, Sammy's got a copy, rip hers, and I'll give you your copy when I get back. You know, it would have been simple, convenient, and effective, and I would have ended up leaving Orlando a lot earlier than I did. I ended up leaving around 8:30 when I could have left right at like 7. So that really ticked me off, and at this point I could have been halfway through South Carolina at least, while at this point I still haven't gotten through all of Florida yet. I've learned my lesson, and that is to not be too nice. And that is the message that I will leave you for now.